effectively in the classroom while teaching English also. So let us invite your friends also, because actually we have to think of joining the more than 20 participants, but only 12 have joined, and you can call your friends also. And the Sandhya PU is a dedicated high school English teacher with a more than 20 years of teaching experience. Presently, she is working at the Government National Boys High School, Kodakara, and she is a very passionate and desired teacher. And our interest is motivational speaking psychology and particularly emotional intelligence and empowering the students to succeed. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Hope
Yeah,
I'm audible.
ma'am.
Okay.
So, Madam ma'am,
Before you,
I would like to invite Madam ma'am to share a few words before.
okay.
Very good morning to everybody. I extend a warm welcome to today's speaker, Ms. Sandhya PU from Kerala. I'm very glad to have you with us today, ma'am, for your talk. And thank you once again for accepting our invitation. As shared by Vinay sir, that you happen to meet Vinay, and that is how you are continuing to network and collaborate. It's really a good sign of collaboration. And I'm glad your inputs will definitely add to all of our research domains in narrowing down further and fine tuning and otherwise as well. So once again, extend a warm welcome and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So shall I begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it's a great honor to see you all sitting back in my home in Kerala. And I'm speaking to some of the dedicated and passionate teachers working in different schools at Telangana. And when Vinayda sir talked to me about giving a webinar about this action research done by me to the teachers of Telangana, I never thought that this is going to be such a great platform, because when I saw the poster only, I came to know who all are backing this. When I saw this name of British Council and NIT Warangal, I felt really proud of it. Okay. And thank you, Vinayda sir, for giving me an opportunity to be the part of this British Council's Action Research and Mentoring Scheme. And as an introduction, I should tell that it is District Center for English. Actually, we are having district centers for English in all the districts in Kerala. And since its active inception in 2010, District Center for English has been very keen on fueling the passion for continuous professional development and doing some action researches in classroom-based teachings and all since 2010 actually. And DCEs have always been keen on changed classrooms actually. And the tutors, the chief tutor, especially Dr. Miss Binija, she has been very keen on motivating us to do some research, and whenever we get a chance to discuss the same with the people with the same mindset and all. And so me too always wish to conduct some action researches, and it was then this multilingualism struck my eyes. And as I told earlier, I'm working in a government school, boys high school in Kodagara, where all the students, 100% of the students are Malayali students, okay? There is scope for bilingualism only in our campus. So I was thinking how to do an action research in multilingualism. And it was then I got a chance to give a motivation class to uh, a tribal school, say model residential school in Kerala. As you will know, there are 33 model residential schools dedicated to teaching the students hailing from tribal areas in Kerala. And almost 6,000 students are studying in all these together, these 33 model residential schools, and they speak, to be frank, more than 12 tribal languages. And I conducted my study in model residential school Chalakudi, which is situated in Thrissur district. And in that school itself, we could find students speaking 6 different tribal languages. And while I was giving them a motivation talk, one of the students stood up and asked me a very relevant question. Can you teach me, or can you talk to me in our language? That was the question actually which triggered this action research. So when multilingualism came up, I thought of doing an action research in model residential school. Because these students, they were actually marginalized in the mainstream schools, and it was then this government came out with an initiative to set up set up schools exclusively meant for tribal students. That is this model residential schools are the result of the initiative and an initiative of Kerala government. And here actually only tribal students are learning here, and a few students who belong to tribes, scheduled tribes also, and scheduled caste also learn there. And their problem is that they always felt inferior to others. They were not at all proud of their culture. They were not proud of their tradition. They were not proud of their language. Always they felt inferior. And gradually this inferiority, because of this inferiority, they could not fare well in academics, and gradually falls behind in this academic performances and all. And one of the primary reasons for this is that the language of instruction and cultural practices are entirely different from theirs. And this sense of inferiority weakened their ability to express themselves, learn, leave alone learning, even to speak. And it was crucial for the educators or the teachers to convey to them that their culture, tradition, language, and beliefs are valued. So, coming to my paper, Unlocking Multilingual Mediation, Bridging the Gap in ESL Classrooms, especially within tribal sects. That was the title of my study or the action research. And let us see the context. You can see that photograph of a girl asking me the question, can you teach me in my language? And the context was language and cultural barriers hinder tribal children's learning. Entirely different language of instruction and cultural practices. Unvalued culture and language led to inferiority and disengagement. Then educators must recognize and value students' culture and language, and this validation fosters emotional connection and readiness for a second language learning. Before we start the second language learning, it is unfortunate to note that these tribal children are not able to follow the regional language or the mother tongue of their teachers. Here it is Malayalam. They cannot follow Malayalam. So that puts actually the teacher in a crisis. In which language? How could she communicate with these children? As far as I'm concerned, I'm teaching in a school where only Malayali students are there. They can read and understand Malayalam. But for these children, they cannot read and understand Malayalam. And more than, the students speaking more than 6 tribal languages are sitting in a classroom. So what to do with these children? That was a very crucial question. And the objectives were to identify the challenges faced by the tribal learners in language acquisition and educational attainment. and to foster pride in cultural and linguistic identity among tribal learners, examine feasibility and benefits of incorporating home languages and texts in education, foster multilingualism, and provide psychological support to empower learners. And these are the studies which backed my action research, the research papers written by Ajit Mohandi sir, and some of the findings in NCERT 2005. I'm not going to the details of the theory part because I know that we all will be interested to know about the study I conducted. Is that okay, Vinay sir?
Yeah, okay, now you can go ahead.
Okay, so to begin with the study, and even before I start, I should tell you that um, it was a great responsibility on the part of the teachers there. Because in other schools and all, we can just begin with their mother tongue and all. Because in the as far as these tribal learners are concerned, the thing is that we have to first give them a psychological support, a psychological empowerment, to let them feel that, to let them know that their tradition, their language, and their culture are valued. So the steps in this action research were systematically or planned, taking into consideration the psychological motivation these tribal learners needed. And the pilot study conducted was among 28 fifth class students, tribal learners. There is a purpose behind selecting the fifth standard itself because the tribal model residential school Chalakudi, the lowest division or the lowest class in that school is this class 5. Until then, until class 5, these tribal children were learning in mainstream schools. Their language, their culture, their tradition were not valued there. Literally, they did not benefit much from those 4 years they spent in a mainstream school. It was after they completed 4 years in a mainstream school that they enter model residential school. That is why I purposely selected class 5 students, because they are fresh and I'll tell you more about it in the course. So these tribal learners, they hailed from diverse socio-economic and traditional and linguistic backgrounds. And in these 28 fifth standard students, there were students speaking 6 different tribal languages. And as I told you, they were previously marginalized in mainstream schools. And my first attempt was to do an assessment test for them. And this, I'll just show you the question paper which I gave them. I have given them a picture. It was a rainbow. Purposely only I included such a question related to nature. And I have asked them to write 5 sentences about this. And followed by just a conversation completion exercise only. It's a very what you say day-to-day, which includes day-to-day use phrases and all. And the next question was a very subjective one. They were asked to write something about their first day in their hostel in their diary. Okay, all these things were closely related to their heart actually. But still, the finding says that 18 students were unable to write a single meaningful sentence. And rest of them scribbled some, what you say, scrambled alphabet, like A, B, C, B, P, Q, R, something like that. Okay, I could not make any meaning out of any single word out of what they have written. And only 10 students attempted to write something, and unfortunately none belonged to the tribal sex. And what I understood is that tribal learners were struggling to comprehend the question. And even when they understood the question, they did not have the ability to respond, because they could understand the picture is given there, picture given there is of a rainbow. And they, in their language, in their mind, they have got an umpteen number of sentences about rainbow. But they could not even scribble one single word or one single sentence about rainbow in the answer sheet I provided them. So coming to the methodology, again, the first was that celebrate and embrace cultural identity. So for this, what I did was that they were given chances, free opportunities. They could perform their traditional dance forms. They could perform their traditional songs. They could they could play the traditional games they play in their tribal village and all. And you can see the video of one such song. Sorry. You can see the pride on their faces, how happy they are while singing a traditional song. I have never seen those happy faces when they were given that question paper to answer. And you can see a game they are playing, singing and dancing and playing. Here also they were really very happy. And that was my first attempt actually to keep a psychological rapport with these children, because then only they could be, what you say, gradually brought to the second language. I should find a medium to communicate with them first. That was my first what you say, task or step in my action research. And so these practices could what you say, made them feel proud. And the next thing was that there are so many tribal poets. Ashok and Marayur, I don't know whether you are familiar with those poets, and one Sandhya. And on June 5th, sorry, not June 5th, June 19th, when we were observing this reading day, we could arrange a special guest for them. One Miss Sandhya. She is a poetess and growing, what you say, she belonged to Mavilan tribe and her language is Tulu. You can see her. Okay, so through these actually, they were they were made to feel proud of their tradition, culture and language. And the next psychological approach we purposely used is that we know that they were feeling inferior to this mainstream children. So we asked them, how many languages do they know? Actually, now by that time, they know actually 3 languages. Their second language, English, and the regional language, Malayalam, and their own tribal language. So we boosted confidence in them. You know one more language. Other than those mainstream students, you are at an advantage of knowing one more language. We could see the what you say, the sparkle of confidence in their eyes when we told them. And we know that I was dealing with class 5 children. Their emotions, they were they could not hide their emotions. Okay. And the next was that vocabulary support actually. And for this we made some vocabulary cards. You can see vocabulary picture cards. We made so many vocabulary picture cards with which we decorated the walls of the classroom, and only 4 is shown here. Actually, we asked them, showing them the picture, we asked them, what do you call this in Malayalam? We showed them a tree and we, what do you call this tree in your tribal language? So that is, you can see, Mera, Maram, Mara, Maram. It is Maram in Malayalam, okay? Tree is Maram in Malayalam, Mara, Mera, Maram. These are the different tribal languages. Then Cash, Paise, Kyasa, Paishi, Kasu. And we are asking them, we teachers asked them to tell us the words. This made them really very proud. The next day when we entered the class, they were coming to me and asking, teacher, do you want any help? Should we tell you any other words? Like that. So they were coming. And stories and art from home. That was the next step in the action research. And they were given topics like nature. They can write anything about nature. And they wrote in their language. You can see they had written in Kadar Bhasha and Buduvan Bhasha. They have written short stories. Without much meaning, they were not creative and that imaginative, but they were feeling confident when they were asked to write something in their own language, and they came out with that. So that was the homework we have given them. And they were living in the campus itself, okay? And the next was that guided reading method was adopted. For this guided reading method, a specially designed material was given for them. And that material was in second language, that is English, specifically designed to integrate. And we made it very particular to include the words which we made use of in the vocabulary cards. And during guided reading session, the children were encouraged to demonstrate their understanding by either using their native language or their second language. They can come out after we explain to them what do they see in that, the material provided to them. And we ask them to say to the class what they understood. They were free to express it in their native language or the tribal language they knew, or they can give it a try in L2, that is English. And the children came out actually in fragments. Okay, it was a mixture. The presentation was a mixture of the tribal language and English. And we were very happy because they could at least make use of these words which we used in the vocabulary cards in English. And then actually this method was to reinforce a new vocabulary and support the children's ability to express their thoughts and comprehension in both languages. It was not a complete success. And those students, those who were really reluctant to come forward and talk, they came out. At least they, near the edge of the desk. They were about to stand and about to say one or two words. We asked them when they were not ready to speak out. We just asked them, you just say one or two, three or four words you came across when you read that passage. So they came out with the words with which they are familiar from the vocabulary cards. And then prompting elicited summarization was the next task. I understood this technique from one of the teachers who is teaching in a model residential school. So she used to, apply this technique of prompting elicited summarization. Questioning was employed to prompt students to summarize information. We made so many simple questions based on the passage given to them, to which they came out with answers, and gradually they could summarize the whole idea, the main ideas, the key details, and the relationship between ideas like. So gradually we began with small questions, and after some time they came out with answers, and teacher slowly became silent, and the students came out with more and more sentences. One sentence will be given by one student, another will be given by another student. Like that, one summary was formed there. The teacher will write the sentences they say on the board. Simple sentences. Okay. And they were allowed to sit in pairs. They were allowed to sit in pairs and groups and to construct the summary. They came out. The structure was not okay. The grammar was not okay. The spellings were not okay. But still, they started expressing something. They started shedding the fear of expressing something. And then the next task was they have to summarize in L2 individual work. It was an individual work. And for this, a home text was given to them. In that home text, a passage is given, followed by scaffolding tools like graphic organizations, sentence frames with supporting images. Because when they find images, they could relate it with the vocabulary cards. And after completing the sentence frames, they were tasked with crafting a paragraph form from the resulting sentences. So from words, we move to sentences, and from sentences, we move to paragraphs. And we were pleasantly surprised because when we gave them visual inputs in the form of images and sentence frames were given as background, they could produce somewhat effective summary. And this method could improve the learner's comprehension of text and produce summaries that are more accurate. And the truth is that we cannot go on with these materials. The next task was that to make the textbook, because they have a prescribed course book with stories, poems and all, as you all know. And from these stories, what we did was that we made the home text like this with scaffolding tools like graphic organizers, sentence frames, and images wherever necessary. And they were given homework. And these children were very interested in doing the homework of English. The other teachers were feeling wondered because until then, they felt very reluctant to speak out. Okay, so it was a journey from self-doubt and reluctance and inferiority feeling to a self-empowerment. So this is a story of psychological empowerment, then to cultural, and then only to linguistic empowerment. So they gradually, and one thing I missed in between, I'm very sorry to say that, in the beginning itself, we asked them to write something about nature. They could draw, they could write songs, they could write stories, and they could write poems. And wonderful works came out in their tribal language, and we did a small publication of their works. It was a small publication, just one copy of their works, and to see the works, to see their writings or see their language in print. It has no script. We used to published in Malayalam language, but still to see them in print made them really happy. I missed it in between, sorry. So this was a subtle yet significant shift from self-doubt to empowerment. And I couldn't visit these children in the last 3 months, but when I talked with their teacher, I asked them, how do they perform now? How do these children of class 5 perform after our action research? She was so happy to tell me that out of these, so say 28 or so students, 20 students were faring well in their academics and 8 students are still, lacking something. So that speaks the success of this action research. And this is conducted, as you know, in a group of 28 students of Model Residential School in Kerala. It is one of the 33 such schools in the state. And my some suggestions are to have home text in all the subjects, especially for these children, these tribal children. That is what we understood. And not on these activities not only validate students' identities but also promote a deeper understanding and appreciation of cultural diversity within the classroom. Hope I have gone through all the steps of this action research. Uh, Hello, are you all
Ma'am.
there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Madam.
okay.
You can go ahead. Mm.
Okay, Vinay sir, actually, I have gone through all the steps actually in between, and I couldn't even, what you say, forgot to scroll
It's
between the slides.
it's okay,
I
ma'am.
was so
Fine.
immersed in my presentation. I'm sorry about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right.
Once
Thank you.
you
And
can, madam,
really,
please share that.
we really, it's a very interesting presentation for us because most of the time, particularly the language teachers are reluctant to use the mother tongue in the classroom. So your
Uh-huh.
research clearly shows an indication that how we can integrate and how we can make the student confidence by taking the support of the mother tongue. This is the key
Yes,
point that is the takeaway from your presentation. And
yes,
another thing is that so valuing their culture, so by using the songs and other things, so that also motivates and improves the engagement of the student in the classroom. This is another
yes,
takeaway from your presentation. And your work, so making the students to motivate and engaging in and doing the things in a sequential or the proper stepwise manner. So these are all definitely helpful for our teacher researchers and how to move forward, because there sometimes they're thinking what to do in the classroom and how to integrate these mother tongue in the classroom while teaching English, because most of the time teachers will have a mindset that using mother tongue in the language class English classroom is particularly a crime. Now
yes, yes.
your presentation is definitely helpful to change our mindset and to move forward by taking the help of the mother tongue. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this. Your
Thank you.
wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, Sampath, please feel free.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And we are fortunate to have your session. And our TRs, teacher researchers, are very much eager to know I mean, really, does it happen or not? Uh, it is, uh, as Vinay sir mentioned, it is clear indication that we can make use of. Usually, it's a regular practice of our teachers, though we systematically document it and present it in an experimental way. So it is proved that and mother tongue intervention is very much useful for the children to improve their language. I think uh, so. One more question from our side, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
As you said, and they are very much happy while using their mother tongue and
Yeah.
addressing their culture and language. And here, so as you mentioned, they are improving their level of learning also. So, is it academically achievement is in a progressive way and it is a consistent way? Is there any challenge regarding presentation in a written form or a oral form to address the target language? So, is there any other findings? If you give, please.
Actually, there are challenges, not only with this, we need not think about tribal students only. Even in my school, there are some challenges, especially when it comes to writing, this spelling and grammar. Okay, both these pose a great challenge because students are yet to get mastery over these two things. Spelling, they are what you say, improving a lot, but grammar, miles to go. And academical performance is progressing. No
Okay.
doubt in that.
Yes, ma'am. Comprehension is possible, and in a
Yeah.
extension way, in future they have to work on it and they have to improve the language whenever they get the gist of the text. So by that they can improve, so in future coming future or they will get some interest regarding
Yes, yes,
the talent.
that's what we intended actually to
Yes,
initiate them to
yes,
learning.
yes. So any other questions over to Madhavi, ma'am?
Yeah, thank you, madam, for that wonderful presentation. Well organized, and it's quite soothing. It's like a story that you have narrated, and with equal importance to research contributions and the work done earlier. Then from, yeah, I have a query, like, of course, exploratory stage, where these problems identified, problems related to demotivation, then diffidence, and then you have come up with the strategies of conducting some activities related to vocabulary building and then culture, exposing them to culture, etc. So that's just a small query from my end. I would be glad if you could elaborate on that.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm sure the teachers and the core team members and all the attendees, though very limited in number, have benefited definitely immensely from your talk. Thank you very much.
Okay. As I
Thank
was
you, ma'am.
dealing with tribal children only, actually, we have to give importance to their culture and tradition. That's why we gave them some opportunities for their cultural and traditional exhibitions, because we have to create a psychological rapport with them.
Things in your, sorry. Yeah, so this was done during the exploratory stage.
Pardon me, ma'am?
Yeah, this was done during the exploratory stage, right? The identification, significance of like a tribal culture. These factors were identified at a initial stage of your research.
Yeah, initial stage itself.
Yes. All right. All right. So thank you very much, Ms. Sandhya, once again on behalf of the ELTA British Council Arms Project team and all the attendees. I extend my thanks to you, and we look forward to hearing from you in future if you have something interesting to share. So you could just coordinate with Vinayadhar Raju garu, and definitely we would welcome you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So thank all the attendees, Vinayadhar Raju garu, Sampath and Lakshman and all others present. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Vinay sir, for giving me an opportunity.
Lakshman have one question. He's raised his hand. Lakshman?
Okay.
Okay, Vinay, actually, I don't have any question. Just to congratulate Madam Sandhya, and I felt very happy hearing Vinija Center for English working at Diet Thrissur. I think
Yeah.
you people work together on this action research project.
Yes,
Really?
really.
She was also our co-participant in RIE, where we worked on multilingualism. So, and your presentation is good, madam. And the thing is, this action research will help the learners, especially primary school children, to think anyway knowledge is acquired or constructed initially through mother tongue. So that is why using mother tongue and giving the two words are very attractive. Celebrate and embrace the culture is a wonderful expression in your presentation, and that is a key takeaway. And as our friends mentioned, that action phase is very important in this action research. So where what kind of support we give for learning, and what kind of material we produce, what kind of psychological and emotional support we give to the children is essential, and we could understand those things happened in your action research project. And thank you very much for giving this wonderful talk over your action research project, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any others,
Any
please
question?
respond.
Any
Otherwise, we
question
can
from
conclude this.
participants?
From TRs, Kavita ma'am, Kavita Nirmala, or Praveen sir. Trisha sir?
Yeah, Sandhya ma'am, really it's a very useful presentation. The way you started and very systematic and well organized. So definitely your action research, the process which you people planned and executed meticulously following what you planned. Really it is very useful for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. As our project head mentioned, Madhav ma'am, and we will be, yeah, we will be there to invite you again, ma'am. And over to Irshad, sir.
Pardon me, sir?
Sandhya ma'am, good afternoon. Your
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
presentation was absolutely amazing, ma'am. I really agree with you. Integration of mother tongue will really help in learning other tongue, and also it helps valuing our culture, and it will take them, to learn and keep them interested. And that was really a very good point, ma'am. We would like to replicate the same in our classroom also, and our teacher researchers will also do that. That was really good one, ma'am. Thank you very much for your excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Irshad, sir. Any others, please? Bhikshapat sir, Somalakshmi ma'am, KJ ma'am, or any others? Mamta ma'am, Praveen sir. Otherwise, we can conclude. Over to
Hello.
Hey, sir. Yeah, Bhikshapat sir. Over to.
Madam, good afternoon and good afternoon, everybody. It's a very
Good
wonderful,
afternoon.
wonderful session to have like this. So these are very inspirational for the mentees also, and we too try to follow your advices and what you are doing, all those things. And thank you for arranging these programs, Vinedar sir and Sampath sir and Lakshman sir, and everybody who are participating in this program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Sampath, we will conclude. Thank you, ma'am, once again
Thank you.
for your presentation. And
Thank
definitely
you
we are
all.
in touch and we will definitely make use of your services if possible in future also. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay. You are welcome. I'm so happy to be with you only.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I request all of you, please, you can, if you can, switch on the video and we can take a screenshot. So please stop presentation, madam. Screen.
Okay, okay.
Group photo.
Yeah. Is it okay? Shall I take?
Yeah.
Ready? One minute.
Okay, Sampath.
1 minute. It is not accepting. Okay, done. 1, 2, 3. Ready.
Online photography.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am, once again. Thank you all for joining.